2, 1.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest Cooking Without Looking TV show. I'm Alan Preston, your host. We have been away for a while. While we were away, my co-host Annette Watkins had a new addition to her family, didn't you, Annette?
Yes, not quite. Well, it is my family, I guess. It's my son. I sure did. I have to show you a little picture, if you don't mind, for those that can see. I don't know if you could see this, but we had Livangeline born on June 13th, and she's a month today. So we're happy. I'm happy to be a grandma, and I'm still looking for names to be called. Just don't call me late for dinner, but we're going, I think, with Nana instead of grandma. So they're calling me Nana and sometimes Nana Banana, but thank you for acknowledging. We're so happy. Alan?
Well, that's wonderful, Annette. And welcome back to our good friend Sylvia Stinson-Perez. Sylvia.
Hi, Alan and Annette and everyone. So glad to be with y'all.
Good to have you back with us again, Sylvia. Well, today we introduce you to a new blindness organization, the Blind United of Southern California. Their motto is building bridges, closing the gap, and making connections. I think that's a great motto. Annette?
Yeah, well, today, speaking of mottos, Ed Davis is with us. He's going to be telling us more about that. He is the president of Blind United. Welcome, Ed.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. And you?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Standing in this hot desert weather out in California.
Yeah, it's beautiful there. I wanted to just thank you, first of all, most importantly, thank you for Blind United sponsorship, because without your sponsorship, we couldn't have been here today and doing our food for thought and having the computers that we have in the podcast to have this Cooking Without Looking telecast. So thank you so much for that. Tell me about your blindness journey, Ed.
My blindness journey, I became legally blind back in 1984 due to a motorcycle accident, actually.
Oh, wow.
And then I was per se legally blind for, I don't know, from 84 till, I don't know, I was able to drive a car again until 03. But by 08, I was total. And then I finally went to training center in 11. And I've just been moving forward ever since.
Wow. So let me make sure I'm clear about this. You're saying that the motorcycle accident caused you to become legally blind. At that time, what was your vision?
Well, I mean, I used to be a truck driver, so I had 20/20 vision.
Right. And then you had the motorcycle accident.
I had a motorcycle accident and I broke my entire face and my sunglasses cut up both my eyes. So
my goodness.
That career was over with.
Right. Wow. You keeping us,
but thank God for modern technology and the doctors and stuff, and they were able to put me back together, and they were actually able to save one of my eyes. And again, like I said, I regained vision in that eye and was able to drive a car 2 years later, and I drove all the way until 03.
Right. And then you said your vision why did it totally go away after that?
Well, it was more glaucoma took over at that point.
Okay.
And then it just started, for those that have glaucoma understand, it just kind of closes in and you get kind of like tunnel vision. You fade into tunnel vision, then you fade into darkness, So by 08, I was done. By 03, I couldn't drive anymore. 5 years later, I was in total darkness.
I see. Well, I'm sorry for that, but you have an amazing attitude about it. And I also understand you have an amazing chili That is so good that you're so famous for it among your friends and family. So why don't you show us how it's done, Ed?
Okay, so I've got my stuff situated here.
Okay.
Let me grab these 2 cans here over here. I'll toss it to you. And I'm gonna grab this one. So what I have here, I just got regular chili beans that, thanks to Renee, she's taught me no need to buy brand stuff. You can just buy store brand stuff. 9 times out of 10, it's canned by the same people. So I don't necessarily, go looking for hunts anymore.
Okay.
So let me see, I got 2 cans of the beans here. Get the other can here. And then I'll get that in here. So basically I use 2 cans of beans, 2 pounds of ground beef,
Mm-hmm.
and then my little secret weapon.
What's your secret weapon?
I
I want to see this.
cut up 2 hot links.
Oh.
So I cut those up and then I put those in with my meat as it's cooked. So that all of that spicy juice from the hot links gets right in with the, with the hamburger meat, ground beef.
Sure. It adds all. It
And
adds
I
all
got
the
a quick,
flavor.
I got a quick
Yeah, go
question
ahead,
for you. The hot links, is that a particular brand of sausage?
Well, the brand that I'm using, I mean, there's all various brands of hot links. This particular time, I'm using Farmer John Extra Hot.
Just basically a good spicy sausage, your favorite one, right?
Yeah.
Love it. All right, thanks.
So now I got my beans in my crock pot. So now I have a brick of chili. The most common brand you can buy at the store nowadays is, what is that? Excellent. I think I'm pronouncing it right. It's XLNT, and that's just a brick of chili. So I take it and I kind of pre-cut it into little squares and stuff, and then I just kind of take my fork and break it up and I put it in the crock pot. So it, kind of crumbs it up and lets it, blend in a lot easier that way, without being all chunky.
Right.
So, okay, so get that in here. It's almost all the way in. Got to work the container, get it all in there.
You don't want to miss any of that flavor, do you?
No. I hate missing flavor.
So the towel over your shoulder here, is that your MO? Is that what you're known for? It's quick to grab it in case you have any messes or anything?
Well, I always like to wipe my hands constantly, I don't want to spread stuff all over the kitchen and make more of a mess.
Right.
So I don't know. Back in the day, I used to work for Winchell's and I made donuts.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yeah. It was more, I got in the habit of doing it when I was like icing donuts and stuff, trying to get that ice off my hand. So, whenever I would, then customers coming in, I worked alone at night by myself, so I was constantly having to wipe my hands and go serve the customers, and then, and they go back to what I was doing.
That's a good thing.
Well, that's
So
a good.
I've already pre-done my meat. So I have 2 pounds of ground beef and my 2 hot links in this big cast iron skillet here. And then I just take and put them directly into the crock pot. And I just kind of rest it on there.
Okay,
on
so
the
that
edge.
meat is already, that meat's already cooked, Ed, or is it going to cook in the
Yeah.
crock pot?
I just kind of pre-cooked it just, in an effort to save time, so.
So basically what is the crock pot going to do then? It's just going to probably marry all the flavors together and get it nice and hot.
Well, I'm being honest. Normally when I do this, and that might be why everybody likes it, I normally do it the day before.
Mhm.
Okay, and then that way I get it cooked. I'll get it cooked thoroughly. Then I will take and let it chill that night. Set it in the refrigerator. Next day I pull it out. Now all the juices, all the flavorings from all the hot links and the different seasonings I put into it, they all now I blend it in with the meat, and
Yeah.
everything's got one good solid taste. So
Yeah, I think the
uh,
longer it sits for a little bit, it sits and it gets more flavor that way. It's actually better the next day.
exactly.
Well, how
So
long have you been cooking, Ed? How many years? It's just a matter of survival, or did you do it because you love it, or what happened?
well, this is actually a rendition of my mother's chili.
Uh-huh.
She used to make it basically this way when I was growing up, and I just kind of put my own little twist on it, being the hot links, and then also I would just like normal cooking. I mean, you do to your taste. I mean, I put laurels in there. I put a little was that the Louisiana seasoning of slap your mama, maybe a little, depending on how I'm feeling, maybe a little garlic powder, maybe a little onion salt, or, onion powder, whatever, just depending on how I feel that day. And, I'm constantly tasting it to see, how it tastes.
Yeah, what it might need or take away, what have you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an art, and it's something you personally do from your heart, basically. So, do you have any tips or anything? You have so much experience. What tips can you give us in the kitchen for people who are blind or visually impaired?
Well, for me on this, what I do, like for instance, ground beef normally has a lot of fat. I
Mhm.
mean, yes, chili is already greasy, so we don't really need a whole lot more. So I will buy the lean ground beef. That way I don't have to drain the grease off of it. It's
Yeah.
just makes it a lot simpler that way. I mean, I've noticed, since losing my sight and becoming blind, people have different techniques about stuff, different ways of doing things. I'm one of them people. I'm gonna reach down and I'm gonna touch it. I'm gonna see how hot it is. For I don't know. I got tough hands. I've been working with my hands all my life, so I don't have that soft skin or whatever where it's gonna really burn me. But I can judge heat and stuff like that, and I work it out that way. I mean, again, I don't do a lot of cooking. I'm single now. I'm a widower, so the chili is my one main dish I make all this, for my friends and family when they ask. Actually, this is my second time. I've done this once before for the podcast. It's my first time for the TV show. So I'm glad to be here and let everybody actually physically see me do it this time, but normally I'm just, one meal at a time kind of guy, simple guy. I got an air fryer here. I got a microwave. And most of the stuff I cook is going in one of them two appliances.
You're after my own heart with that air fryer. And we love to have you here. That's what we like, is people who just get in the kitchen. They're not afraid to try new things or try the same things that work. I mean, this works for you. It works for your family and friends. And we so appreciate that you shared it with us today. And we wish we could taste it. Maybe someday we'll come out in San Diego and visit, and you can make it for us. How about that?
Well, go to San Diego, you'll be in the wrong place. I'm in San Bernardino.
Oh, well, that's true. That's true. I wasn't sure where in California. Where's that in relation to San Diego, San Bernardino?
About 150 miles north.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're 65 miles east of Los Angeles.
Oh, I see. Excellent. So I look forward to speaking to you more about your organization. Okay. So for
No
now, we're
problem.
going to go on to the next chef that we have. And we want to thank you again.
No
Mr.
problem.
Davis. Okay.
Can I throw a little something in there, Annette?
Of
For
course.
Ed?
Yeah.
And I live alone too, and I cook alone. I know exactly what you mean. And sometimes my chili has a lot to do with what's left in the refrigerator or cabinet or whatever that needs to go away before too long. And the other thing I just like to throw in is I like to throw it in little Ziploc plastic bags.
David Carragher, video render.
A meal at a time. Bring it out, either boil it or stick it in the microwave.
Renee Meester, Video, Bonnie Rios, Pam, Vic, iPhone, Sylvia.
And that's actually exactly what I do when I'm
Annette, mute, start video, audio, mute my audio, button, green.
or you know, myself. I'll cook a big pot of like this, you know, and then I'll just, like I use, you know, the big serving spoons, commercial serving spoons, and I'll put 2 in a Ziploc.
Okay.
Between 2 and 3 spoonfuls in a Ziploc generally is a bowl full. Throw them in the freezer, pull them out, throw them in the microwave. Whenever I'm ready, I got a bowl of chili.
Sounds excellent. You know, the other thing I was thinking about with you, you're a truck driver. You had a motorcycle accident. You worked in a donut shop? I don't know how that fits in, but your chili sounds great.
Yeah, my mother worked for Winters all my life, you know, so I kind of grew up around the donut shop and picked it up, and then she became a manager for Winters out here, and I became her nighttime baker, you know, when I was, you know, trying to help her out, and whenever she needed me or whatever, you know, fill in baker, because you got to give the regular baker a day off as well. So, you know, just for years, I just, you know, that was just something to do. And I was joking about this the other day. You know, they give you the title of baker, but you're not actually baking. You're actually frying donuts. There's no oven in the place.
True.
That's
But
okay. I don't need to know that.
So,
Sylvia,
anyway,
you got anything you'd like to throw in there?
Well,
Well, you thought-
Ed, that is an amazing idea to add the sausage into that. I mean, it made my brain start spinning like, oh gosh, I'm gonna try that. I agree. I often make things as like whatever I have that will sound good. I made meatloaf today, and it has black beans in it and red peppers and chilies, green chilies. So yeah. Anyway, though, the one thing that caught my attention that I wanted to point out as a tip is you mentioned when you were pouring the meat from the pan, the frying pan, the skillet into the crock pot, you know, making sure that you line that up. And the best way to do that is kind of have it touch at the back, you know, so that they're touching, so you're not spilling everywhere. So I'm sure lots of us have done that. I know I have. And so making sure they're touching, the pans are touching, so that when you pour it, it goes into the right place.
yeah,
Awesome.
I always make sure that bottom edge of the frying pan itself is hanging off, but you know, the opening of the frying pan is within, you know, where you're trying to put everything.
Yep. Great.
So
Awesome.
all right. Well, I'm gonna let you guys move on to Fa Shandra, and then I'm gonna go reposition for the next segment.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ed. Thanks again. And Alan, you want to go into Fa Shandra and get her cooking going too? We're excited.
Thank you very much, Ed. Yes, I will. Now we have Fa Shandra Howard, also a member of Blind United. Welcome, Fa Shandra.
Hi, I am happy to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you with us today. Tell us a little bit about yourself, would you please?
Well, I was a preemie, 26-week preemie, born weighing 2 pounds and 8 ounces. Like a lot of us back then, I was born in 63 and put in the incubator without oxygen being too high, at which time the doctors told my mom and dad not to name me because this was an hour after my birth, that I probably wouldn't be here. Well, needless to say, hi, everybody, I'm still here. And
Such a miracle.
I'm sure that I had a purpose in this life, like we all do. And I am, I think, living my best life. I was also born with 27 things wrong with my eyes. So I had, at the time, one good eye and one bad eye. So by the time I was age 30, they switched. What used to be good eye was the left eye, which is now total. After having 15 heroic surgeries trying to save it, I had a detached retina, which led to glaucoma and a whole lot of other things. And needless to say, that didn't work out so well.
Excuse me, Fa Shandra, it's Renee. Could you step forward? There you go. A little back a little bit, because we lost you in the screen there. There you go. Okay, perfect. Don't want to miss your beautiful
Pick
face.
that up. I can't see very well over that screen, Renee.
So which way should I go now?
To your right,
Onward?
right there.
All right.
There you go. Perfect, perfect. Right. Yeah, right there.
You stay there.
So I after a
Okay.
while of being in darkness, in which I was, I met up with a group and that introduced me to a whole new way of life that I didn't know because I wasn't raised that way as a blind person. And I was a mom, married with a couple of kids, 3 of them. And I couldn't give up. I wouldn't give up. And so I met that organization and began my journey. And about 10 years after that, the eye that didn't see began to see. And so that's been about 15 years now. So now it's not doing the best. I can only see maybe about 2 feet in front of me and nothing clearly. But that's okay, because there is life after blindness.
Absolutely. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, I can relate to have just a little bit of eyesight. I was going to ask you if you were total, but you just answered that question for me. Having even a little bit is better than having none, isn't it?
That's great.
Yeah, I feel very bad for my friends that have absolutely none. Well, anyways, that is quite a story for sure. 2 kids. How old are they now, may I ask?
Well, it's actually 3, Mo, Larry, and Curly. But
Oh, no.
the oldest being 38, a girl. She has 2 boys. The next one is a son who's married with 5 kids and 2 dogs. And he's 33. And then we have Miss 9/11 herself, the baby girl. And she has 2 boys. Altogether, we have 9 grandchildren.
Wow, that's fantastic. Congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anyway, what is it that you are preparing for us today?
One of my family's favorite, one of their favorite hometown classics. My grandma used to make it. My mom made it. My sisters, my children make it, and I'm making it. And of course, we have Battle of the Chefs in our home. So this is my version of it. So it's smothered potatoes, and what that is, there are some potatoes, and you can. In our family, we slice them different ways. Today, I've already sliced them and have onions and peppers this way. So what these are, they look like scallop potatoes, the way that I cut them today.
You can't see it.
Can you see this?
There you go. I was just going to ask you if you'd move a little bit to your right, I think. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
You can't. Okay,
Yeah,
sister can't
yeah,
go too further.
wonderful. Thank you.
In my
We love
skillet.
to see your smiling face.
Now you go. Now I
Yes.
see.
That's
So,
hi, Fa Shandra.
hi.
It's Dion.
Hi, how are you? So
I'm good.
Great. I'm gonna go ahead and begin to place them in a skillet that I have already placed some olive oil in. These are going to be cooking on top. And the reason we call it smothered, well, it kind of reminds me of like giving it a hug, if you will. That's what I attribute it to. When your grandmother give you that hug. So they're going to be in here, and they're going to pair nicely with the onions and peppers as I place them in here.
Okay.
The bell peppers and onions, I choose the colorful ones of the bell peppers because they make it look so pretty. Traditionally in my family, they don't put the bell peppers in it. I do. Because I
That's
like
a little twist to
eating
the
is,
recipe. Do you do
if
it
it
in
looks
layers
good-
or do you just kind of mix them all together in there?
oh yeah, all together.
Okay.
And on top of the stove. And now I've placed them. I also add my seasonings in here. And my favorite go-to is called soul food seasoning. I don't know if you can see this. I hope you can.
Well, I can't, but I'm sure some of our sighted members can.
So one of them, I'm gonna eyeball it. We do a smidgen of this and a smidgen of that. So this is my smidgen. So basically it's about, no, it's more than a pinch. I want to say it's like a 2 tablespoons full of seasoning.
Okay. And a pinch is maybe a teaspoonful?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to also get my garlic powder and my onion powder. And I'm going to do the same. And here we go. Season. And hurry up and do the next item, which is the garlic. And it's going to be so good. That's all I can say. My grandmother and mother and father are in heaven and they're smiling. Because
I can
growing up,
almost smell that from here.
Yeah.
oh, yes. And
Yeah, Renee, do
everything.
the new computers have smell-o-vision in them yet?
Not yet,
It
Alan.
should.
no.
And so, black pepper. Yes. So, I'm going to go ahead and a dollop of this and a dollop of that. I always add a little extra because it doesn't hurt anybody.
Now, a dollop, that's bigger than a, wait a minute, we got a pinch.
It's bigger than a
Yeah.
tablespoon.
Okay.
Most certainly. It's bigger than a tablespoon.
Okay, I'm trying to relate to those people like me who can't see exactly what you're doing up there.
Okay. So, like a serving spoon.
Okay.
But this is a little bigger.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And I'm going to now take some onion and put that in there. Onion. I used today a yellow onion. Okay. And the yellow onions are going to be placed on top.
You're being very generous with those onions. Yum.
To me, I love onion. Onion it brings out the flavor. It plays so nicely with the potatoes. And if you can play nice, you're good. You're in with me. I'll put a little bit of that. And we're going to now, I'm going to kind of stir them around a little bit because I want I want the onions to go on the bottom as well as on the top. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of stirring quite yet.
But
In
you
the
do
skillet.
keep mixing them all together, right?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. Basically
Okay.
mixing it.
I'm going to ask you,
little.
Sandra, if I could ask you, your onions, I can see they're cut very nicely. How did you do that? Did you do it? Did you get help? Did you use a processor?
yeah. Yes, because I have a lot of experience and I do. I take them and after I peel them, then I'm looking for my lid. It's right here, being blind. My lid is here. And I just, after I peel them, I have a chopping board that's up here where on my counter, if you're not able to see it, I can easily place it so that you can. The camera. All right, right here. And I just take it and I turn it on its side and chop. I have Martha Stewart knives, but not that I'm not promoting her or anything.
Okay.
So she can't sue me. I don't have rights.
I'm
It's
sure
just
she'll
what I do.
appreciate it.
That's pretty good.
So you just cut them with a knife. How do you
Yeah.
hold your fingers? Make sure you don't cut your fingers.
let me grab a knife so I can kind of show you. I need to show you so that you can see that. Here's one. The knife, one of the knives that I'm speaking of. This one is a steak knife, but I use a bigger knife like that. I don't have the knives with the guides. I used to use them a long time ago, but not so much now.
Yeah, the guides kind of get in the way, I found. You're right. I kind of like to use the side of my finger as a guide.
Right.
And you're right, Fa Shandra. This is Sylvia. The more experience you have, the more you practice, the more confident and comfortable you get. So
Absolutely, yeah.
So are you able to see what I'm doing at this time? Can you adjust that camera?
I'd have to ask Renee about that. I could just barely.
It was good. It was good what you had. What
Now
you
it's
had was good.
So
Now-
I'm
Not
cutting.
now, I can't see. Okay.
Oh,
When I got my nose up a little
Well.
closer a while ago, I saw a couple of your friends over there watching our show too.
oh yeah,
Well,
they want to eat.
me
You got me,
too.
Renee, right?
Can you see in my hand?
Yes.
Renee,
Yes.
So
perfect.
I just sliced these. This was thicker at first. It was much thicker than what it is now.
Would you go past the
So-
onions?
I'm gonna now use these onions. I'm
But,
gonna now.
but for those who aren't comfortable with chopping too, you can also use one of those little mini choppers and they work great.
Oh yeah. And I do have some of those, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Wow,
thank you
And now
for
I'm gonna.
showing, thank you for showing that, because a lot of you feel so comfortable about it. We didn't even know that you even chopped those, but you did them yourself. So I just had to ask you. But continue, please, with your recipe.
I'm usually pretty fast with it, but
Yeah.
now I'm gonna go to the meat
Meat.
because meat goes with taters. Woo! And again, I have sliced, going to be put in the oven in this aluminum pan that I have here. For time's sake, I've kind of prepped a little bit already ahead of time because I didn't know how much time that I would have and I didn't want to take all day. So we do have some more of my seasoning that I told you about, the not the slap your mama, I am using that, but this is the soul food seasoning. Food to me is soul food seasoning because soul food seasoning is food for the heart, from the heart.
do you happen
And
to
it
know what's
was
in the
usually a
soul food?
time when our families would get together and we would cook, we would talk, we would laugh, sometimes sing. But then after everything was done, here's the slap your mama. Ed even mentioned that. So, and then we would eat.
That's
And we
what's
would at the end say what they're
I
going to
just
be
bought
saying.
some of that slap your mama
Hey,
the other day.
it's
Fa
good.
Shandra, do you happen to know what kind of spices are in soul food seasoning?
I'm pretty sure actually that I do not know all of the ingredients. All I can tell you from experience is that it's oh so good. I'm sure that it
I'm
has
gonna
some,
have to maybe try that. I've never had that before.
it gives you that down home taste. The taste that you got when you were a kid, if you were fortunate enough to be raised around your mom and your grandma. Yeah,
okay.
that's what it's like.
My grandparents were British,
Yes.
and I was raised
Yes.
around lamb and mint sauce.
Black pepper. That's not it. I will find it. I've got it. Black pepper. Shake, shake, shake.
Now, how did you
Remember
know that
shake
was
and bake?
black pepper? By the shape of the can, or did you sniff it?
I'm sorry, say that again. I didn't hear you.
How did you know that was your black pepper? Was it the shape of the can, or do you have it marked in another way?
Two things. The smell of it, because I go by smell a lot.
Yes, I do.
And then I also have a bump dot on the pepper.
Ah, okay.
And another thing, if you pay attention, salt is heavier than pepper. So even
Yes,
without
you're
the
right,
bump
it is.
out, even without
For
the
the same
smell,
volume.
I always in a restaurant, I'll just reach and feel whichever is the heaviest. I know it's the salt.
Interesting.
That's just FYI. Now that I have gotten these nicely seasoned here, they're now going to go into the oven and they're going to cook for a while. I usually set my Alexa and tell her, depending on the thickness and how many I have, there are 3 in here. So I usually tell her 45 minutes, but the oven has been on quite a bit now, for now. And I can show you guys if you like. What it would look like in a little bit.
Yes, please.
Also, we serve this with something that I failed to mention. We always serve, when we have meat and potatoes, because my family's from the South, we have cornbread, but we also, I didn't make it. We also usually have some type of a vegetable, an additional vegetable, which is like greens or cabbage or a salad. Today, I have a little quick version of a stir-fried collard green that will be plated on the plate today, just for appearance purposes, but it is good. Also, that is on there.
Plus, they're
I'm
very
looking for my
high in
lid.
calcium. Fa Shandra, they're high in calcium for your bones, so they're good for your bones, the collard greens.
Yes,
You buy those
yes.
fresh? You buy them at a
Not
local
this time. Normally I do, because I have my husband is the type of man that will only eat the greens if they're fresh. The
Right.
kind of you get at the store in the produce department and you come home and you pick and clean them really, really good. But we didn't this time. I cheated. I confess.
So how did you find them? How did you
On
find them?
international
Frozen?
TV.
This time, no, they actually had some in a can.
Oh, okay,
And
good.
this is what they look like with, I have tomato and I also have onion in it to give it to kick up the flavor. Cooked
Sure.
in olive oil with a little bit of chicken stock. Now, this is not my mother's recipe on this because she would kill me.
She would roll over, right?
Yes, she would. Oh, how dare you! But everything else is mother's recipe, and this is what it looks like.
Is that our finished product there?
This is your
Looks
finished
delicious.
product.
Oh, wow. I bet your kitchen must smell so amazing right now, Fa Shandra.
Yes, and I'm sure the neighbors are going to be coming over, like they did at my mother's house. My mom, there were 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, my mom and dad, but my mother always cooked enough food to feed the 6 shut-in neighbors and everybody. So there was always plenty of food at our house. And this is like on any given day. So the holidays was stupidly delicious because we never had just one meal, one meat.
Currently unmuted.
Yeah, we had, if there was going to be turkey, there was going to be ham. And if there was going to be ham, there was going to be roast of some type of a roast beef. And if it was that, somebody may say there might be lamb. But all of these things, in addition to all of the side dishes, and my mother was a self-taught baker. So not only did she bake the cakes, she also decorated the cakes and the pies and everything else. And that's what I was raised in.
Nice.
That's pretty
That's,
impressive.
that's amazing. That's amazing that she shared with all the neighbors. That's so wonderful. That's definitely a lost tradition.
Yeah, she was called Mama Nix. And
Nice.
so
Okay, the tasters.
I'm Mama Sean.
Well,
Uh-huh.
thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Annette, this
Annette.
is Sylvia, and I wanted, I saw someone in the chat was talking about the measuring, and that's always a challenging thing for people. So I wanted to just share a couple techniques. I think Fa Shandra was doing some measuring in her hand from what
I
could
was.
sounded like. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's a good way to do it if you're not going to use, measuring cups. You don't want to just, if you can't see, you don't want to just shake the bottle over the pot because bad things can happen.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can use your hands to measure, or you can use measuring things. But don't do it over don't measure it out over the pot for sure, because you'll get too much or not enough. And that's a great way to tell that you have enough using your hands.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
I have had that happen to me.
Oh, I
before.
poured the whole thing in it.
Yeah.
When the
But
lid
now we
came
have
off.
tasters. Tell us about
Yeah.
your tasters, Mr. Shandra.
Yeah, so I have done that myself. And we're gonna be now tasting the food. If y'all don't mind, I'm tasting. But yeah, it
You
has
want to taste
happened
it
to
first?
me.
She wants to taste it. Go ahead.
I wish we could be there with you, Fa Shandra. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
I
Thank
bet
you guys
that's
for
gonna
having
be
me, and
great.
trust me, if I'm in your town, I will come over.
Please
I'll be
come
more than
visit,
happy
but
to.
I gotta warn you, it's so darn hot here that you don't have to put anything in the oven. You just stick it outside.
Okay.
But Sandra, this is
Annette.
Sylvia. I do have one quick question. How long are you cooking the smothered potatoes on the stove top?
Oh, those. I cook them until they're tender
Uh-huh.
all the way through, because
Yep.
you don't want them. Yeah. So that could be, it depends on your stove.
Mhm.
So everyone's stove is different depending on the elevation. Me typically
We do
I
that
put-
exact dish, but in the oven.
in the oven, I put them
Mhm.
about, well, I put them on top of the stove.
Mm-hmm.
45 minutes on top of my stove
Mm-hmm.
with the lid. And occasionally I'm stirring them.
Right.
I'll lift the lid, see how they're doing, flip them over, stir them up.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I do. And my God, these are so tender.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Sylvia, do you have any more tips for
I
Shandra or
think
audience?
that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That I have.
Can you guys see my tender pork chops? I'm sorry.
I can't, but I bet I'm saying
I
you
just-
can.
Oh,
I wish we had
well.
smell-o-vision. Come on, Renee,
Mm.
get it for us. Fa Shandra, thank you again so much. That sounds so delicious. I'd love to try that.
I wish I
welcome.
was there to
Thanks for
taste
having
them for Sean.
Yeah,
Girl.
definitely.
Mm.
Annette,
Yes.
what do you have for us for food for thought?
Okay.
Oh yeah, my big sister's watching, so she's gonna talk about me if I didn't do it right.
Okay. Big
I'm
sister.
sure watching.
Oh, that's what I'm talking.
This is your. I watched, and it looks delicious.
Well, my sister, by the way, thank you, sister. My sister Deborah, by the way, is a chef.
Really? She's
So,
official chef.
Well, you look like with that dish you just did.
well, I learned from the best. Love you.
I agree.
That's great. That's great. Your sister joined us. Is she in California as well for Shandra, or is she somewhere else?
She's back home in Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago. Okay.
Mhm.
We'll see the magic of Zoom. Isn't that
As your
great?
daughter says, that's the.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, ladies. Well, now we're going to move on to our
Mhm.
food for thought section, and we're going to welcome back Mr. Ed Davis. He's the president of Blind United California. Remember, everyone, he just made that delicious chili. Now, welcome back, Ed. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, Ed. Ed, tell us a little bit how you came up with the idea for the Blind United.
Well, it actually came from, actually the name just recently came about, but the concept came about over the course of many years. It's my, again, being sighted and going through my accident and having to go through the whole process, of fading in the darkness and then, trying to figure out what to do after that. And there's, seeing the gaps in the process. And, and then once I was introduced to the blind community, hanging out with, some of my peers, my co-founders, she's on the call as well, Cheryl Thurston and Brittany Magico, we would just sit around and we would talk about, there's a problem, for people coming up with this, and there's a problem with people coming up from that, so our thing is we want to take all the good stuff that we've experienced, going through the process, and we want to apply that. Then we want to take the bad stuff and do everything we can to fix it. If we can't fix it, then we see if we can find another way to approach it, just to try to make it happen. Because we all need services. We all need help. We all deserve to live our best life.
Yeah, very, very well put. It sounds like a concept that evolved over time through experience and positives and negatives, and you took the best of what you could find that will help other people. And so wonderful. But tell us how you're different from other blind groups. There's got to be some real differences between you and other groups.
Well, I took a concept that I actually learned. Well, I hate to say it this way, but I stole it from my church.
I love it.
At my church, they did a thing called interest groups. And I said, well, you know what? I think we can apply that to our community, as a way of networking with one another and, sharing in different interests and stuff, and stuff like that. So we started, the interest group part of it. We're on Facebook, Blind United Interest Groups. It's an actual group on there. We have over 300 members now. So we're constantly growing, and we have over 25 different groups, and we think outside the box. We do things like we're teaching Braille on Zoom to a group. Okay. We're teaching JAWS. We're teaching iPhone. Fa Shandra and a couple of other ladies, Cheryl Thurston, they do gardening. We got another group is knitting, crocheting, and jewelry making. We get together a couple times a month and we do audio descriptive movies. It's just, again, it's a wide range of things. It's all volunteer based. It's just a bunch of blind people working with one another, trying to make it happen, trying to make life better for everybody.
Very diverse, very inclusive, many different interests that just anybody would enjoy. I probably think that even sighted people would like it. But every organization has like a tagline or a motto. What is your motto? What does it mean? How'd you come up with that?
So closing gaps comes from, as in a perfect example, I've heard this from many, many, many folks in the community, especially of those of us that have lost our sight. You go into your ophthalmologist, they're doing everything they can, they're trying to fix your vision, they're getting new glasses every 6 months, whatever the case may be. They want to do different surgeries, yada, yada, yada. When it's all said and done, when there's nothing else they can do, they have no area to point you in. They have no direction to point you in. They have no resources available for you. To me, that's a big gap. We've all experienced that. We learn mostly word of mouth about, the various rehab services within the various states that can help us get the training we need to become independent again. So that's one of the gaps that, we definitely want to close, and within that, how do we close a gap? We close a gap by building a bridge. Okay. And then making that connection. Now we're making that connection with the ophthalmologist, and I'm just applying it to that one gap, but I hope you get the concept.
Yes, I totally understand. I mean, closing the gap is extremely important. You might go to your doctor and he has an idea, but it's never brought to the end where you can really act on it. And you said you're trying to get people to get involved, and you got all walks of life. And how do you get people to actually start to get up and get going with your organization? You said word of mouth, of course, that's the best, and that's the one where you probably get the most. But what inspires your people to get up, get out, get involved, and get moving?
Well, and that's the beauty of it. It's whatever you're interested in. I mean, your interest might be flower arranging. It might be, one of the ones we already have. It's about being able to, number one, I found in the blind community, it's very important for us to socialize with each other. We're very comfortable with each other because why? We all understand what we all go through on a daily basis. So that we have that, that camaraderie right there. We have that common link, So now if we can bring in another link, such as whatever your interest may be, whether it be technology, gardening, crafting, whatever it is, if we can bring, now you got another little circle of friends that are interested in the same stuff you're interested in. And then we just constantly grow it from there.
Right.
And this is Sylvia, and I love it. I love what you're doing, and you're so right about people connecting to, we need each other.
Yes, we
Because
do.
we learn more from each other than we'll ever learn from anyone else.
It's just like one of the latest things we just recently started. And I mean, I know most of us are here in Southern California right now, although we do have, members of the group and people that come in on our interest groups from, we are in Florida, we're in Kentucky, we're in Tennessee, we're in Michigan, just Ohio, different Texas, people popping in. But here locally, the majority of us are here in Southern California. That's where we started at. So we've just recently started doing a thing we call group outings. So we get together on Tuesdays. We decide where it is we want to go. Then on Thursdays, we get together. We do public transportation to get where we're going. We're doing the walking, we're getting the exercise, we're allowing the public to see us out here living our best life. We're going to various places to eat or whatever the case may be, wherever we decide to go. But the key to all of this is when I was in training center, I learned my mobility by the book from my O&M instructor. I learned practical use by going out with my fellow classmates every night. So I'm giving people the opportunity that may not be good with their mobility to come and go out with a group. Now you can learn practical use. You can get over the fear of being out there, and no, we're not going to let anybody have nothing happen to anybody. We're not going to leave anybody behind. We're also inclusive to the point to where we understand some folks can't get on the bus or the train or whatever the case may be. So we'll pick a final destination like a restaurant. And those folks that have to do access, they can meet us there. And we'll go have lunch with them, hang out, and then they'll get back on access and go home, and we'll get back on the bus or the train or whatever, and we'll all go back home.
Right. So you feel secure, you're with your group, and you've made friends, and you gain your confidence by going out in public, and meeting locally is fantastic. Now, for people who are around the country, this would be great if it would start up in different cities around the country. But in the meantime, Are you saying, do you guys meet on Zoom once a month? Let's say I wanted to go on there and do a yoga class, let's say. Would that be something that one would do once a month and meet with everyone, or how is that handled?
Well, and that's another beauty of what we're doing. It's your group. How often do you want to meet?
Mhm.
All we got to do is find a time slot in the schedule, and you can do it once a month. You can do it every other week. You can do it every week. Whatever you want to do. Like our Braille lady, she does it every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
There's some weeks there's 4 weeks, some weeks there's 5 weeks. But when Wednesday rolls around, Christina is going to be there and she's going to teach you Braille.
Right.
Our JAWS guy, our JAWS man, he's there every Tuesday. I don't care how many Tuesdays are in the month, he's going to be there.
Right.
But then we have other groups that are, as we say, once a month.
Mhm. Okay, so someone just signs in on a Zoom and just goes ahead and gets connected that way?
Well, they can reach out to me at Blind United 2022 at gmail.com.
Okay.
And then I will communicate with you. I'll find out what it is you want to do. I'll find a slot in the schedule. We'll work it out together, and whatever works best for you, we'll make it happen.
That sounds wonderful. Blind United 2022. Finish that off at Gmail, you said?
Yes, at gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Fantastic. So I would assume that people that are sighted can also join your group, because you might have a non-sighted person with a brother or sister or a parent or just a friend that wants to join in as well. Is that possible?
Allies are always welcome.
Okay.
Allies are always welcome. A lot of times on the outings. I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I am not 100% best at mobility. I do know how to move around when I know where I'm going, but with this instance, sometimes we're going places I don't know where I'm at. So 9 times out of 10, I'll take my daughter with me. I'll take my grandson with me. You know, we've got a few people in the group that are, high partials, low partials, whatever the case may be. If you got some sight, we're going to use whatever you got to our advantage. We're going to get where we got to go, and we're going to get back home safely.
I love it. I love it. It sounds like a lot of fun. Ed, is there anything else that you would like to add to tell our audience about that we may not have covered? And again, repeat how to contact you at Blind United again, please.
Okay, so again, to contact me at Blind United is Ed Davis, of course, but the email is blindunited2022 at gmail.com. So you can connect with us that way by emailing me. You can connect with us by joining our Facebook group, which is Blind United Interest Groups. You can go in there. It's a public group. Everybody's welcome to join. We put the schedule in there, the new schedules in there every month. I do daily reminders. I send out emails so everybody knows what's getting ready to go on that day or the next day. You know, I try to put them out the night before, so when people get up in the morning, they know what's going on that day. You know, so again, you can join the Facebook group. You can send me an email, whatever. It's all. We'll get back to you. I will definitely reach back to you.
That's fantastic.
I mean, other than that, I mean, everybody's welcome. I mean, especially if you look through our schedule and you do not see a group of your favorite interest, please contact us. You're not the only one that wants to do that. Trust and believe. There's going to be somebody else. So, you know, come on, let's find us a time slot. We'll slide you in there and we'll get some more people that like exactly what you're doing.
And Ed, it's Renee. And we also have a cooking group too.
Yes, we do. Renee has been with us from the very beginning. I love her. She has been an ally for that was Cheryl that just popped in on that little chat right there. She's the co-founder with me, but Renee's been with us from day one. She does once a month. She's first Tuesday of every month, and we do cook-alongs. Just this past Tuesday, we did pies. Renee had 3 pies for us. She had strawberry rhubarb. She had, what was that, a key lime pie, and then we also had lemon beret. So
That's right. That's right. And I still have them.
you know, so we're always doing something. We're always just trying to keep people engaged and, you know, involved. I mean, it doesn't do any good to sit at home and just, you know, I hate to say it this way, but a lot of people do it, wallow in your own pity. Don't do it. Connect with some other blind folks in the community. Let us give you a reason to come out and get involved.
Yes. Thank you. That is so inspiring. And we definitely need a cooking show. And definitely that Renee covered that. I was just thinking about that. That's awesome to have a cooking segment on your show. That's needed.
Yeah, again, Renee's been with us from day one. We've actually been in play now for about a year.
It's a great
So-
group of people. Everybody is so much fun. I love you guys.
Well, we love you too, Renee.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Ed, Mr. Davis, President of United. I wanted to say Bank United. I'm sorry. That's the wrong one.
I wish.
Blind, President of the bank, President of Blind United. No, and thank you for your sponsorship again for Cooking Without Looking and our podcast. Because you know, without your sponsorship, Mr. Davis, we wouldn't be able to be here today and doing this show. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's our pleasure. It's definitely our pleasure. And again, Renee's been a great ally to us. So when she put it out there, she was looking for sponsorship. There was no question about it. We were in.
Yes, thank you very much, Ed. Ed Davis.
Yes, sir, Alan.
Fa Shandra Howard and Sylvia Stinson-Perez. And the most important people are all of you who joined us today on the Cooking Without Looking TV show, Blind United Edition. If you'd like today's recipes, as well as past recipes, please go to our website at www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com.
Yes. Thank you, Alan. And if you would like to enjoy today's show again, and you would like to enjoy some past shows, please go on our YouTube channel and see those shows there on Cooking Without Looking. And remember to like the show, of course, and to subscribe. We really would appreciate that. Alan?
If you teach people who are blind or partially sighted, please feel free to use our show for your students. There's no charge for using them. And many teachers around the country and more than 60 other countries, wow, around the world now use our Cooking Without Looking TV show to teach their students. Annette?
Also, check out our Cooking Without Looking podcast on Spotify and iHeartRadio and anywhere that you get your favorite podcasts. It's also available on Alexa-enabled devices. Alan?
If you would like to donate to Vision World Foundation to help us change the way we see blindness, please go to our website at www.cookingwithoutlookingtv.wordpress.com and click on the link at the top of the page. Or for more information, please call area code 305-200-9104. Annette?
Yep. And look for our next show in August. Can you believe it's already almost August? It's crazy. The summer's just been flying by, but we're so happy to be back now up and running. It's been too long. On behalf of Alan, Preston, Sylvia Stinson-Perez, and all of our Cooking Without Looking TV show guests today and Vision World Foundation, thank you so much and bye for now.